Hey, all. I am back in Chicago this week, and I have the opportunity to check out something that is new to us here at Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and that is a Polestar. This right here is the Polestar 3, and it is an all electric SUV, and it is new for the brand. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take a quick look at the exterior and the interior, and then I'm going to just jump right into the things that I like and the things that I don't like. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I like more things than I don't like. But I'm also going to be honest with you, this is a very tech forward vehicle. And so you guys may not like the things that I like. Let's be clear here. All right. My name is Jill Simonello with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Let's take a closer look at the Polestar 3 right now. Now, if you think this Polestar vehicle looks a little bit like a Volvo, you would be correct, because Polestar is really just kind of an offshoot of the Volvo brand, and it is all electric. Now, this is going to be also made by the parent company Geely, and I do want to point out this vehicle right here is made in the United States. They have a plant in South Carolina. So this is not a Chinese made vehicle. This is made right here in the US of A. Top range on this vehicle is going to be 350 miles, but this right here is the launch edition, and it has dual motors, so all-wheel drive, and it is going to be having a performance pack. So you're looking probably at about 279 miles of range on this specific vehicle. Okay, yes, this is my driving position. No judging. I'm short. Okay, now the first thing that you're going to notice as you start stepping into this vehicle is you have a lot of minimalistness going on. So you have, your gauge cluster here, which is small and attached to the steering wheel. And then you have your infotainment screen right here, which essentially houses everything. It houses everything. And what I thought was really interesting is these seats, even though they're leather, Polestar felt the need to say essentially that these are sustainably sourced. And I would say no animals were harmed in the making of these seats, but yeah, that's not going to be possible. But they made it a point of saying these are sustainably sourced leather seats. And so I don't know. I thought that was interesting. But they do also offer a vegan option for the interior if you would so desire. Okay, we'll just kind of pop in here and sit down so that you can see what I am seeing. And I'm going to point out, I put on the seat massagers earlier, and yeah, they're still on. Okay, so I have this charged to 96%. It says 230 miles of range, but as I mentioned, this can get up to 350 miles with a rear-wheel drive vehicle and the extended battery. But this has dual motor, and it has some the performance pack included on it. You do have very minimalist looking dash, because really, essentially, all you have is this infotainment screen right here that controls everything, and that includes your side mirrors and your steering wheel adjustments. Yeah. In terms of your center console area, you have a little bit of the shiny black lacquer. This right here, pause and play button. If you press this, it will turn off your audio, and then this right here will control your audio. That is essentially the only dial or button, frankly, that you have in this vehicle, unless you look at your switches for your I don't even know how this works. Your switches for your window. All right, before we jump into the likes and dislikes, I'm just going to hop in the back seat really quick so that you can check that out as well. All right, so first thing you're going to notice is, yeah, you don't have anything here, a bump for your transmission. So you have like a flat floor here, which means you can actually seat 3 people and put somebody here, and they're not going to be eating their knees. But you also have rear climate control, so I can control the temperature back here. And then I can do heated seats as well for the outboard seats. So I like that. I always wanted heated seats as a kid. That would have been lovely. What else have we got going on? You've got air vents, you've got your USB-C charge ports, And you know what? I will point out these seats are also really comfortable. As far as back seats go, these are I would say just as comfortable as the driver's seat. Okay, now yeah, no, this is not going to be your legroom because this is behind my driving position. But if you come over to this seat, and this is where my husband was sitting, I still have a solid 5 to 6 inches between my knee and the back of the seat, and I have plenty of foot room. Okay, maybe you're not going to put somebody back here who is 6'9", but you're going to be able to fit taller adults back here really well because they're going to have plenty of leg room. Ooh, okay. All right. I was going to say, what? No cup holders? But okay, so here's your cup holders. Um, It's kind of interesting. And then this is padded. I like that. It's padded. So I feel like you've got some good stuff going on back here in the second row seat, in addition to the legroom, heated seats, air vents, all those things. Yeah, the seats are actually going to be comfortable. All right, now it is time for me to start talking about the things that I like, and this is going to be the longest portion of this video. So, all right, you know what? Let's start with the driving position. I feel like I have a really good driving position, and these seats are very adjustable. So not only do you have the ability to move them forward or backwards, but there's a little center button that when you hit that, it allows you to then go into your like seat bottom adjustment. So you make the seat bottom come out or longer. You can do your lumbar support. You can do your side bolsters and make those kind of go in or go out. So I love the fact that these seats are really highly customizable and adjustable. And I've already mentioned this, but you also have seat massagers. So as soon as you like start adjusting your seat, you get a little bit of a pop-up here that shows you, the adjust menu and then the massage menu. So then you can go into the type of massage you want. So I had it on wave, but they've got tread, combined, lower back, shoulders. I'm not leaning back to get my shoulders. So you know what? We'll just focus on the lower back at the moment. And then you have speed and intensity that you can select, and then you hit start. And this is really aggressive and really good. Like I can really feel the little knobs as they kind of come in and hit your back. And yeah, I also have my heated seat on, so this is, I just ran 4 miles, so this is really nice and welcome on my lower back, and we're just gonna keep this going while I do the review. So I mean, this is very minimalist, and it does not bother me. I actually like the minimalism of the display and the screen. I like the fact that when you have, this screen right here and you adjust your steering wheel, the screen is on top of the steering wheel. So as you adjust your wheel up or down, the screen is going to move with the steering wheel. So it means that it's never going to be blocked by the top of the steering wheel. Now, this also, which I don't think is available on all of the Polestar 3s, but this specific vehicle also has a head-up display, and it's adjustable, and I really like where it appears on the windscreen, and so it's easy to see, easy to read. And if you use Apple Maps or your native directions, so your native map here, it will put your directions into the head-up display, so you don't always have to keep it on your maps. And personally, I'm a podcast fan, so I like to keep it on my podcasts, and it's nice to just know it'll still tell me where to go and give me some good directionals in a space that I can actually see it. Now, one other thing that I want to point out that I really like before I flip the camera around so that you can see what I'm seeing is the fact that this armrest is actually in a good enough location that even somebody who's in a far forward position can use it. But if I were taller and I moved my seat back, I can still use the armrest. So I don't know how Polestar did this, but they've managed to design a vehicle that is comfortable for the fifth percentile female, which is me, as well as somebody who is taller. Now, again, don't know how tall, but certainly an average size adult would fit in here fine. And I imagine somebody who's 6 foot tall would probably fit in here fine as well. I don't know about somebody who's 6'9". That I don't know. All right, looking at it from this angle, we'll just kind of spend a little bit of time with this infotainment screen. So if you opt to use the native Google built-in system, one of the things I really like is if you put in a destination, it will not only tell you how long it will take for you to get there, but it will also tell you your percentage of charge once you arrive. And that is really helpful for planning in terms of, oh, am I going to make it with the charge that I have, or am I going to have to stop? And I will say that I have found that Polestar and Volvo vehicles are incredibly accurate with their estimations. So I feel like that is a really good system, and I've come to depend on it, and it works really well. Also in this screen, you're going to see essentially you have your module right here for your audio controls, and then your phone controls here. Now, I don't have my phone connected at the moment because the new Apple iPhone 16, if you are connected to Apple CarPlay or connected to the car, it deletes your audio. So sorry. I do not have my phone connected, so I cannot show you the connected services here. But just know you do have wireless Apple CarPlay in addition to the Google built-in. All right. So something else I really appreciate is the fact that you do have your dual automatic climate controls. And I'll be honest, the more I'm dealing with these things in the screen, the less it bothers me. Little screen pops up here when you hit your temperature. It allows you to turn your um, heated steering wheel, heated seat, ventilated seat on. You can sync the climate, so it can be 78 degrees, but and then you can turn your heat up and down. But if your passenger wanted to set their own temperature, they could do that too. My husband's going to be getting in here later, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn that down for him. um so I like that. And then when you hit the fan button, you get an even bigger screen that goes on that will allow you to then kind of adjust how the airflow works. And it lets you kind of adjust this. Now, okay, yes, it is through your screen. You don't have a physical button, but I will say what I like about this is the touch points on the screen are really big. So as long as you're hitting it in the right spot, which you will because this is a big space, you're not going to have a problem. So I don't know. This doesn't bother me too much because of the bigger nature of it. And come on, those graphics, they're just cool. I think they look cool. All right. So outside of your climate controls, we'll dig into this a little bit more, but I also really, really like the camera angles that you have. And so you've got the 3D, you've got the backup in addition to, the around view, you have, the front. So I just, and automatic rear braking. So I like the fact that this is a really large, clear picture and it works really well. And when you're backing into a space, and we'll go back into a space in a moment, um, yeah, something really cool happens. So I like the camera. I think they've done a good job with that. What else? What else do I like here? All right. I do like the fact that, the things that you're going to touch the most frequently are going to be right here up front and personal and easy to access. So I like their iteration of Google built-in on this screen. Now, something else I really like is this right here, and that is going to be the console storage area that you have underneath this floating area here. I like this because if I go to the grocery store to pick up eggs, precious commodity these days, I would put them here rather than putting them in my seat because I don't know, I'm afraid they'd be sloshing around or something. But like here, like they kind of stay in place. There's rubber matting on the bottom of that, so it kind of holds them into place. I like that. I actually went and picked up takeaway while I was during the test week and put the bag right there. I think that's a great storage space. Women who carry a purse, that is a great space for your purse as well. It's protected and it frees up the passenger seat for, I don't know, a passenger. Okay, now remember when I was talking about the camera and that I really liked it? This is why. Okay, so I'm backing into my garage, and as I, cut to make the turn, you have this really big view and you can see, the trajectory of the lines. But as I am adjusting and I move forward and I get close to an obstacle, I still have 20 inches between my nose and hitting anything. I think that's really cool. It also shows you this is going to be a little bit closer because it's orange. That's a little bit further away because it's yellow. I don't know. I love all of these aids that give you a really good clue about how close you are to things, what you could potentially be hitting, what you are not going to be hitting. Again, 20 inches, 18 inches. This is really cool. 10 inches, plenty of room. Plenty of room. And then as I transition into a darker space, the camera is still bright. I love everything about this. Everything about this. Now, even though this is a relatively compact SUV, you do have a really generous cargo area, and that is the second to last thing that I really like. So you fit 5 passengers in here, and you're actually going to be able to fit all 5 passengers' luggage in here if you want to take a road trip. So that combined with the fact that you have comfortable seats in every seating position makes this a good commuter car as well as a family car. And the fact that it has more than 350 miles of range available, again, makes this possible for a road trip. So, yeah, I like the cargo space. You do have, this cargo cover here that you can put into place so that you can cover up stuff if you live in a city. That is definitely really good. Now, the final thing that I really like on this vehicle is the fact that you can adjust the height of the cargo area. So, okay, this is not a large SUV, but sometimes you're just like, you just want to make it easier. Or if you had a pet that you were going to put back here, you have a button right here that, do you see this? It is lowering the suspension, lowering this rear cargo area. And I mean, that seems like that was about a 4-inch travel. So it is right here, like, so kind of here. And then you can raise it up to, that's a lot of travel. I mean, like, yeah. So cargo space, thumbs up. And the adjustability of the load when you are putting something in or out also gets a thumbs up. All right, it is now time for me to jump into the things that I don't like on the Polestar 3. And you know what? I'm kind of going to start with this right here. This is the key. Now, this uses near field communication technology, which essentially means in order for it to work, you have to physically touch the space in order to lock or unlock the doors. And it's not this right here, it's this right here. As a journalist, this is all I have access to. I've heard that they don't have an actual key fob, so no little clicker button thing. You have this, or you can set your phone up as a key. They did not give me that capability during this test period, so I am just using this. And I have to tell you, I had to Google how to lock and unlock the doors. And you have to touch it in exactly the right place. Now, the bonus to this, and the good thing about this, is the fact that it doesn't have any batteries. It's literally near field communications. So, as long as you have this physical thing and you touch, it will lock or unlock, maybe, if you hit it in the right place. So, that's where I think some of the weirdness comes in, is you've got to find the right place, and muscle memory would come into play. Owners would probably not have a problem. But I think that's a little bit weird, and it gets weirder. Let's go inside and see why. So the other thing that I don't like about this key card is going to be this. So I've got this physically in the car with me, and if I put my foot on the brake and try to put it into drive, right here it says key not found. valid key required to start. I have the key. I have the key. I have the key. But no, it can't just be in the vehicle, in your pocket, in your purse, in your wallet. Nope. It has to be literally right here. It has to go over this, again, near field communication hotspot in order for you to put the vehicle into drive or reverse. And that's just a little bit weird because you know what else this is? This is your wireless phone charger. Now, I will say, once you are in driver reverse, if you take this off, you can still drive it. It's not automatically going to put it in a park. So you could put it there and then stick it here and then put your phone there. This is a lot of work. So I mean, the end of that story is this is more of like a valet key, I think, or it's going to be one of those keys you loan to a friend. But for the long term, you're going to want to set your phone up as a key, so that you don't have to deal with any of this weirdness. And it would then allow you to, put your phone here, and you wouldn't have to do the, you could put your finger over the ridge on the doorknob to open it rather than, physically touching the key to the doorknob. So I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. This is probably one of the nits I'm picking, but nah, I don't love it. And you know what? While we are in this position, we're gonna dig into the biggest thing that I don't like about this vehicle. Um, we'll put it in park for that. Okay, so I'm a girl. In case you missed it, I am of the female persuasion, and I have a lot of shoes. I think at one point I counted, and it's been a while. I have gotten rid of some, but I had more than 100 pair of shoes. I have a lot of shoes. I like shoes. I wear shoes. I wear different shoes pretty much every time I drive. And what that means is I have to constantly like adjust and readjust my seat, to get a good driving position. So currently I'm wearing a pair of hiking boots with a platform that have a wedge heel. You know, the other day I was wearing high heels. Then I was wearing sneakers, and then I was wearing Wellington boots. I have a video on that. We'll link. But I wear different shoes, which means I have to adjust my seat, which means ultimately I am going to have to adjust not only my side mirrors, but also my steering wheel. And Polestar did not make that easy. Instead of keeping, the buttons, on your dash or on your like armrest on the door, um, yeah, this right here is where you have your driver adjustments. So you hit this button here, this screen ostensibly pops up, then you have to go to driver adjustments, then you have the ability to adjust your mirrors or to adjust your steering wheel. And as you can see, it doesn't always hold for a really long time. So if you want to adjust your side mirrors, you select left mirror, and then you have to go to your steering wheel quickly. I'm hitting the wrong things now. There. If you want to go to adjust this, you have to go to your steering wheel quickly and hit these buttons on here to be able to adjust your wheel, or your mirror, then you switch and you're going to adjust your mirror here. You want to adjust your steering wheel. Again, you're doing that through here. And this is not new necessarily. We've seen this before. I did a review of the Rivian R1S, and that also has your controls through here. And I complained about it then. But this is the first time I really lived with a vehicle that has you adjusting your steering wheel and your mirrors through the screen. And with my shoe selections, I think I wore like 5 or 6 pair of shoes this week, and it was a short test week. It was annoying to have to keep readjusting. Now, I did find that if you do a little bit of a pre-adjustment when you're sitting in the garage, that covers 90% of it. But invariably, when I get on the highway and I'm looking at the lane lines and I'm seeing the other cars, these are kind of squinty little mirrors, and you have to get them just right to be able to see the cars in your blind spots. So I was adjusting on the fly. And this, so, if you're here, is not easy to do. It is not easy to do. So, I mean, the steering wheel, okay, you're gonna set that when you get into the car, but your side mirrors, not easy. This is the biggest thing that I don't like about the Polestar 3. Now, let's pick a few more nits. Now, outside of my perennial complaint about the shiny black stuff on the center console, the other thing that I'm going to point to, and this is picking a nit that I don't like, is the fact that when you go into your settings and you go into your controls and you look at your lights, you only have two options, and they're very similar for your ambient lighting. So you can see the ambient light bar right here. And so you have gold and you have white. Those are your two options, gold, white. If you're going to make ambient lighting on this vehicle, which is $80,000, why not give me more options? I want more options. That is definitely picking a nit. All right, now that I've given you the good things, the bad things on the Polestar 3, I do want to give you just a few brief driving impressions. I've had this for about 4 days. I've been driving it around the city. I did go out to the suburbs, so I've taken it on the highway. Did not take a road trip, did not do any kind of a range test. But I want to say the range to me feels really accurate. And I've been dealing with temperatures that are in the 30s and 40s. So not super cold, but not crazy warm either. So I feel like the range has been very accurate and I haven't lost more range than I thought I would. I really like the Google built-in estimator of your range when you arrive at a location. I found it was either spot on accurate or a little bit generous. So I'd say I'd have 80% battery life and I get there with 85%. So all of that makes me feel a lot more comfortable driving an electric vehicle when you are confident in the range and how the range is going to react. Now, driving around the city, you may or may not have been able to tell, we've been driving over some potholes. Thankfully, no speed bumps at the moment, but this handles the road pretty well and it feels comfortable and solid in terms of just the overall ride and handling. It has a really good turn radius. And the fact that the camera will give you the number of inches before you hit something or how close you're going to be to something is also really helpful when you're maneuvering in tight spaces. I like the cargo space. I like the seat comfort. I like the audio system. We didn't even get into the Bowers & Wilkins audio system, but I like it. Everything about this, except for the little things that I pointed out, are really good. This is a good vehicle. So I don't have a lot of complaints. I've enjoyed my time in the vehicle. This is the launch edition, so we're looking at about $79,000, so it's not cheap. But I know that Polestar is currently doing some incentives. I think there might even be like a $15,000 discount. So if you are interested in this vehicle, now is definitely a really good time to check it out. It's made in America. It is made in America and it has good range. It's comfortable. And yeah, I'm starting to ramble now. In case you missed it, I really liked this vehicle. All right, that is what I have for you on the 2025 Polestar 3. Thanks for watching, and I will see you down the road.